Let's examine the facts. Let's open the case file. A claim circulates in quiet tones. This world could be a simulation. Not as a movie twist, not as myth. As a philosophical wager. If it were true, the surface changes. But the evidence does not. We start with what the idea is. Before we argue what it means. A simulation here is not a dream. It is a running model of minds. Not a single fake room, but a whole. History rendered moment by moment. The case is old, and strangely modern. It thrives on computing metaphors. But metaphors are not proof. So we treat it like any dossier. What is asserted? What is required for it to work? What would be indistinguishable? What would leave a trace? Tonight, we keep the lights low. We don't chase certainty. We inventory the claim. And we mark the gaps. Because in this file, the hardest part is not wonder. It is separating possible from supported. A simulation hypothesis is not a verdict. It is a fork in our assumptions. It asks whether consciousness could arise from the right computation. If yes, then the hardware can vary. Biology would not be required. And if minds can be instantiated, they can be multiplied. Then the numbers matter. Not feelings, not vibes. 1 million replicas weigh on odds. 1 trillion weighs more. But we're not there yet. First, we need a clean vocabulary. So we'll move step by step. As if we were cross-examining a witness. No spectacle. Only careful questions. File open. Pages turning. Slowly, we proceed. Nothing assumed. Confirmed, reported, unverified. We separate fact from retelling. Confirmed, in 2003, philosopher Nick Bostrom framed a trilemma. He argued at least one is true. Extinction, restraint, or simulation. Confirmed, 2, what the doors are. We name them without drama. Door 1, most civilizations end before reaching posthuman capacity. Door 2, some reach it, yet refuse to run many ancestor simulations. Door 3, if many are run. Simulated lives outnumber originals. Reported, the idea spread beyond philosophy into tech and media. Some repeat a simple punchline. Odds are we're simulated. Reported, 2, is a modern rationale. Games went from Pong to near real. But that leap is rhetoric, not data. Progress in graphics is not evidence. Unverified, whether consciousness depends on biology, or on structure. Unverified, whether posthuman societies would want these simulations at all. When retellings compress the argument, they hide the hinges. So we keep the hinges visible. What must be assumed, and why? Where conditions are missing, we mark the absence. A key detail is often lost. The trilemma is not a direct proof. It says one option is likely true, given certain background assumptions. One assumption is sampling, if simulated observers are vast. Then an observer chosen at random from all observers like us would land in the simulation set. That is a statistical move. So we proceed as investigators do, we annotate each hidden premise. And we refuse to treat a premise as a conclusion. To define the hypothesis, we avoid sci-fi shortcuts. A simulation here means a system that generates conscious experience. Not merely video, not a puppet show. A mind from processes. Bostrom's focus was specific, ancestor simulations. High-fidelity reconstructions of earlier intelligent life. If a posthuman society exists, its computing power could be vast. Enough to model minds in detail, at functional resolution. If even a small fraction chose to run many such histories, the count of simulated observers could dwarf the originals. That is the engine of the argument, multiplication. But notice the quiet premise, substrate independence. The idea that consciousness could arise in non-biological media. So long as the structure is right. That claim is debated. Another premise is stability, that advanced agents can maintain the energy, hardware, and peace for long simulations. And another is motivation, curiosity, research, art, or play. None of these are guaranteed. Each is a separate question. Some versions add recursion, simulations inside simulations. Then base reality becomes a label, not a location. And still, the argument provides no experiment, no signature in physics. It is a conditional map. If A and B, then C is plausible. Our job is to keep those ifs in the foreground. so the viewer can see where the ground ends. Long before silicon, philosophers asked whether appearances can mislead. Today the metaphor is computation, but the doubt is older. Now we test the structure, not the spectacle. The trilemma forces a choice, but it does not tell us which. So we compare competing paths and see what each requires. Hypothesis A: intelligent life rarely reaches posthuman maturity. Collapse, self-destruction, or limits arrive before the final hardware. Hypothesis B: posthuman worlds exist, yet they run few ancestor simulations. Not from inability, but from indifference or restraint. Alternative: our inference is skewed by selection and sampling method. If observers like us is misset, the counting argument can misfire. With those on the table, we don't decide tonight. We ask what evidence would move us. For A, we'd look for convergent risks, war, climate, misaligned AI, and so on. For B, we'd look for convergent norms, taboos, laws, or ethical convergence. For the alternative, we'd audit the frame, who counts, and who is excluded. A detective does not pick a door because a door feels dramatic. We pick the door that the record can support. Physics may look clean whether simulated or not. And a simulation, if careful, could hide its seams. So no anomaly proves nothing. Neither does strange coincidence. We can still do useful work. We can map priors to assumptions. If you assume posthuman computing is common and cheap, and you assume motives to simulate, the third door gains weight. If you assume extinction is typical, or ethics blocks the practice, then the first or second door carries the load. The case stays open, but the logic becomes visible. Before we close, we set the stakes, without forcing an ending. Because even an unresolved case changes how we talk. If the hypothesis is false, our duties remain familiar. If it is true, the duties are not erased. A simulated person would still suffer. A simulated choice would still count. So one axis is ethics: is it permissible to create minds? For study, for art, or for entertainment? Another axis is probability: how do we live under deep uncertainty? Do we update our confidence from philosophy alone? Or do we treat it as a live option, held at arm's length? A third axis is value: what do we call real? The substrate, or the experience? And if experience is the center, what does base even grant us? In a detective file, the cleanest mistake is this: to let a metaphysical possibility become a personal excuse. So we keep our hands steady. We can be curious without surrender. We can doubt without paralysis. We can ask for better reasoning without demanding a final answer. Some public voices assign numbers. 1 in a billion, almost certain. But those numbers are not measured. They are compressed assumptions. Change one assumption. How many simulations, how many minds? And the odds swing. That is why we slow down. We do not need certainty to choose a stance. We need a rule for acting under uncertainty. Do we demand testability or accept philosophical risk? These are not trivia. They shape how we build technology and how we treat future beings, whatever their substrate may be. We end where the case began, with method, not myth. Suppose the record cannot decide. Not yet, maybe not ever. Then the question is not, what is the universe? It is, how should we proceed? If you had to write one rule for a world that might be simulated, what would your rule protect? Would it protect evidence, never upgrading a story beyond proof? Would it protect dignity, treating experience as morally real, no matter what runs beneath it? Would it protect caution, building powerful systems as if future minds, simulated or not, will feel the outcomes? Or would it protect humility, accepting that some frames exceed what investigation can settle? A detective lives with open files. But an open file still needs conduct. So leave a comment, not with your answer, but with your rule. One sentence. One principle. That is the only verdict this case can use. Because the trap is easy: to turn uncertainty into theater, to hunt for messages, to read coincidence as code. A careful mind resists that. It stays with what can be checked. Yet it also resists the opposite trap, to dismiss the whole file as nonsense. The argument is not a prank. It is a stress test for assumptions. So perhaps your rule is practical. Work as if reality is shared. Speak as if others are real. Keep the standards of evidence high. Keep the standards of care higher. If we are in base reality, that rule still holds. If we are inside a simulation, it still holds. And that is the point. A rule that survives the frame.